if we apply these things broadly, they're useless. And society, of course, does this. If you're intelligent and you're a child, you're useless to society because the mature adults are actually so regressed mentally that they wouldn't even know what intelligence was if they seen it. They simply look at it and they're like, oh, it's brown dirt, it's red dirt. And then the scientists would be like, that's called clay. It's a little bit different than dirt. And they'd be like, no, just red dirt. Don't tell me that or I will kill you. Okay, so in the puppy dog kitten world, this is interesting. The animal may as well, but many times is now just in the way in a domestic situation. If you have a kitten or a puppy and it matures, it turns into adult, it's lost most of its use. If it's domesticated, the kitten and the puppy are there to look cute and play with. And when it starts to look old and ragged, its use is pretty much gone. Although many people have trained dogs because they want a murder weapon, a walking murder weapon that can think for itself, and then they can blame someone else when it murders for them. But at the end of the day, it's a defensive tool. So the dog is generally used as a defensive tool, whereas in a kitten or someone specifically after a puppy, the second it becomes an adult, it is useless. One might, and I'm pointing out these things because one might draw parallels to plants and animals or other species when one thing is done in one way. There might be a certain group of humans who, as they age and decay, their usefulness has ran out. They are no longer little sex kittens. They are now old, crippled, obese, diabetic kittens. And the world is like, what the hell is going on? What are you doing? You're no longer a kitten. I bought a kitten. I want my kitten back. In the USA, legally, adult has one definition. So we can sum adult up in one thing. You are old enough to can be charged as an adult. About 90% of adults can be charged as an adult, and about 2% of people under 18 can be charged as adults. Every single person agrees on this, that in USA legally, the definition of adult means 18 years old. So there's no argument. The number one defining factor on what the word adult means is a person who's 18 and they can now be prosecuted by society and the government in a different manner. Life and execution of enslavement. And when I say, life or execution of enslavement, I'm talking about things like, mostly like sex and drugs have the laws around them as to why it matters. Why does it matter you're an adult? Because now you can go to the bar, because now you can buy crack, because now you can smoke crack on the corner and not get arrested for it, because now you can buy weed, now you can smoke weed. You're now an adult. Can you read a newspaper when you're 1 year old? Technically, if you can read a newspaper 1 year old, I would call you what people think an adult is. But it's just a word that means absolutely nothing. I would call you an intellect. And even that word obviously is played out by clowns and fools and people who are lying to you, probably creating some sort of nonsense space travel crap that doesn't even exist. Those are intellects. They're telling you all these lies. They can't even comb their hair. That's an intellect. The world's greatest intellect is a person who doesn't know how to use a comb on his hair, on his curly rat nappy afro. And there's a reason why that can be the only intellect. The other people can't even seem to think. So at least they've dedicated some stupid words that people think sound cute. The curly rat, nuclear bomb enveloper who genocided the Asians. Let's go ahead and blame Einstein for the USA's love of genocide of the Asians, because